our next match. The second quarterfinals we are going to be bringing you on this channel is going to be between Johnny Sid's Bot Buddies and Moustaches. The lobby is already set up. We are almost ready to go. It's going to be Towers of Doom. This match was scheduled to start at 2 p.m. CT. We're already 20 minutes past that. That's due to the unexpected, well, kind of third map. I mean, the schedule doesn't really include every match being a 2-1 or being 3 maps.
Yeah,
so
the schedule.
These teams have been waiting for 20 minutes to get started. They are probably really built up now. They want to.
Is usually just a suggestion. So yeah, on the other stream, we have the other quarterfinal of this half of the bracket with Unstoppable already being 1-0 against Diablo Immortal. Turns out they did have phones after all. Turns out they did. So yeah, Moustaches taken second place in Division 5 versus Johnny Sins Bad Buddies have taken the first place in that same division. Is a spicy matchup, especially considering the fact that in the previous match that they had, Moustaches were the one who took the W. 2-0 to boot.
Moustaches had won that 2-0. But that was in the early stages of Season 11. And time has passed. Both teams have been practicing. So the balance might well be quite different this time.
And we have just heard that one of the teams needs a short break. So I don't know. I think we can either stall for time or just go on a short break. What is gonna be your opinion on that issue?
I would be fine to go on, but
let's continue going on then. Right.
Just a really friendly person in my household has just brought me some water to drink, so I am all set.
That's nice.
Thanks for that.
I'm also in my element. Very well. With this match being one that I haven't prepared for.
I had originally prepared for it, but then I kind of dropped all my things. So, going for the statistics, I'm just doing this live right now. On the side of Moustaches, in Season 11, the most common hero was Lunara, closely followed by Malthael and Diablo and Malfurion. So,
I'll be honest, Lunara is not a hero that I see often down here in the Rare Cup divisions. She seems a bit too squishy, but when you get over her squishiness and her blow-up ability, you just get to be solid and you get to win. Because she does put down so much damage.
And a short recapitulation of the map draft that had already taken place half an hour ago. The banned maps are Tomb of the Spider Queen, Cursed Hollow, Volskaya Foundry, and Sky Temple. Yeah. The first map pick is Towers of Doom again.
Interesting. Towers of Doom might end up being this cup's Ultra Pass as the maps that everyone picks for some reason. So yeah, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Cursed Hollow, Volskaya Foundry, and Sky Temple is an interesting bunch of maps. I think that the one thing that kinda describes most of them is that they are fighty maps rather than macro-ish ones, which cannot be said about Sky Temple, for example, but yeah, we do see that Moustaches are going for the smaller maps with Tomb of the Spider Queen and Volskaya Foundry in their bands, while JSBB are choosing bigger maps with Sky Temple and Cursed Hollow.
So I find it interesting that some really big maps are still open. I'd really like to see a Dragonshire match. Just because I haven't seen it in a long time. but I would like it. Just to see how these maps are handled by good teams.
You would be surprised that that map was actually picked the last time Moustaches and Johnny Sins Bad Buddies have played against each other. Moustaches took the win, and the interesting stat that jumps right into my eyes is the fact that they won despite being 19 kills down, 11 to 30.
Just to finish up on the heroes that are liked by the teams, I've already told you about Moustaches. On the side of Johnny Sins Butt Buddies, it looks quite different. So in the last match we casted, we had the question who's gonna get Greymane. Both teams liked ETC also. Both teams, so they had intersecting hero pools. This time it's different. Johnny Sins Butt Buddies' most well liked heroes have been Anduin, Li Ming, Stukov, and then Chaser and Deckard on 8 picks each. So we are probably not going to see fighting over certain heroes this time. I expect more target bans against your opponents, which is interesting because in the last match, when you target banned something that was strong for your opponents, chances were that you were banning something that's strong for yourself as well. This time, neither team has that risk. Really.
So, speaking about target bans, we do have some spicy bans against the teams. Notably, we do have 18 Ana bans versus Moustaches,
Oh god. That's pretty
which
much
is a
every
hero
time,
that
right?
no, she was picked 9 times, all of them very weak.
Yeah,
And for Johnny Sins Bad Buddies, we do see the 10 bans against Alarak,
yeah.
against their Alarak, which was played once
But
in a
also 10.
victory, so might be a great Alarak player on the side of the right team. I also heard somewhere that their offlaner might be playing a pretty mean Stukov in the offlane, which is gonna be a thing that I'm gonna be looking for.
Oh yeah, I would. So we can expect some more shenanigans like last match. Not
No,
nec-
no, way less shenanigans than the last match. I don't think you can beat the last match in the amount of
Yeah,
shenanigans that there were.
yeah. I don't expect juiced pirates this time, but what I was gonna say is that maybe, especially Johnny Sins Butt Buddies, are not going to be playing the your bread and butter conservative traditional team here. Maybe they have some aces, some tricks up their sleeves.
Well, let's see what they will bring up in this game, as Malthel is already banned out by
Straight up target ban against Moustaches. He was really successful for them. Also, one of the more common bans against him. So he has been
and
banned 10 times before.
yep, and all 12 picks of Malthel have been wins, which is not a statistic that you want to see when you're trying to give your opponents heroes. Tracer is gonna be the ban. Tracer is an interesting one. I don't think a lot of people actually do play Tracer. Let's.
Also, just talking about divisions for a moment, both of these teams are from Division 5, not 4. They have finished first and second. So, after Sloth Sanctuary, have won and eliminated a Turtle team who were from Division 7, 5 as well. At least one Division 5 team is surely going to make it to the semis of the Epic Cup.
So I have tried looking for why Tracer might have been banned, and the stats on Johnny Sin's Bad Buddy Steam page do show that they have played her 8 times, with 7 of those games being wins.
Yes.
But I think the spicier one is the one loss that they had, which was in a match against Moustaches.
Another.
On that Dragon Shy game, where the Tracer had uh, 13 kills.
But looking at Anna and Li Ming, I definitely understand the Tracer. Tracer is really nice against both of those heroes. And if you're planning to set something up with those two, getting rid of Tracer early makes a lot of sense.
You know the one slight problem with Liming? Liming usually likes to use her E with Calamity to finish out targets, and Zul is going to be a bit of a problem against that. Uh, Alarak Sorry, and Nubarak is also being a pretty good deterrent to jumping in, and is gonna provide some space for Zul to get in there and press some roots on people.
So Xul again picked, but not as main tank this time. Navaraka is gonna have that duty, I guess.
I also like the fact that they pick up Anduin, which does clue me in the fact that they might be wanting to go in, which is further indicated by the Valera ban from the side of Moustaches.
So Valera has been picked before by Johnny Sins Bad Buddies 5 times during the season. 4 of those were wins. And she has been banned 4 times as well in the season. So it seems to be, at least to people who know Johnny Sins Bad Buddies, it seems to be known that Valera is in their roster pad.
On the side of Genesis Bad Buddies themselves, their bans are much more conservative in some kind of quotes because I don't think that Lunara is that big of a ban nowadays.
It makes perfect sense to
Yes.
ban her though, because she has been played 13 times by Moustaches, and she has been banned 8 times against him. And she was quite successful. She has a 84% win rate out of the 13.
So yeah, Moustaches are gonna try to change their comp slightly after those Lunara ETC bans with Raynor and Johanna picking up the slack. And it's a Genji. Do I
So,
have any Genji stats for Genesis Bad Buddies?
as I was predicting, the right team is a little bit weirder than the left one. I like it.
Okay, this is a funny one. Genji was picked once by Genesis Bad Buddies. It was a win. So, nice track record top hold. Let's see if it will hold up as Zagara is gonna be chosen from the side of Moustaches.
Zagara against Xul. That's a whole different beast than last time around. Last time around, we saw Towers of Doom. We had an offlane duel between Dehaka and Malthael. Zagara and Xul, both of those are really powerful early pushers. So that's gonna be something to watch out for.
I think Zul might have a slight edge on the rotation, so. But
yeah, but
I
on the
will
other
be
hand,
interested to see if Easy can prove me wrong in game.
there might be Nidus later. So, but also as they're really narrow team fights here, we saw it with Kathas last time Towers of Doom was played. The Coon thing, the Gorge thing by Zagara makes a lot of sense too. Just for fights around camps, around the objective, even at the boss, she can have a lot of impact with that.
I actually really like the idea of picking up Zagara because you might have not thought about it in that way, but after you said Nidus, it's actually global. So you can threaten places on the map and threaten some 5v4s after level 10 if you go for it. If you don't, we do have the Mo, which is a pretty nice setup for some combos that might be coming out from the side of Moustaches. And Zagara does bring up a lot, and I mean a lot of split pushing potential. So yeah, on the left in this match, we do have Moustaches with Blauamin playing on Johanna, Pogo Okapi choosing Li Ming, Search on Raynor, Easy playing Zagara, and Faldas running Ana in this game.
And on the right side, for Johnny Sins Bad Buddies starting on the top lane, we have Xul played by Hodo, we have White Tiger on Genji, we have Garlanda on Anubarak, Jenny Tala playing Anduin, and Raven Spike on Jaina. Already different approaches. Xul wants no business with the mid lane. He goes top straight away. Zagara only now on her way, but she hasn't decided yet where to go actually. She stays mid for the moment.
I mean, no, that's not a quest anymore. Interesting. Anymore. Was it our request? I think the quest was on 7. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point, I'm sorry. So yeah, the teams will get some waves done in the mid lane and rotate down bot. I think the reason why Zagara has decided to stay in the mid lane for a bit longer is the fact that she was able to place down creeps there, which does increase her speed when she's trying to rotate down to the mid lane, because Zul is obviously gonna be double soaking. And you either want to prevent that, or you will lose just a lot of XP, and I mean a lot. Which now Johanna and Liming are here to pick up the slack, while Zagara is being kind of outpushed by Zul in the top lane. So yeah, the teams will of course go for the siege camps as soon as they spawn, as we do see right now. 3 people from each side with White Tiger
Oh, and
trying to go
Li Ming
deep.
is gonna be the first to die in mid. Xul has joined Anubarak to gank her, while Zagara continues pushing on top. So
So
Xul
yeah,
seems to be a bit more team fighty for the early stages at the moment.
and here we see the Zul and Ubrak combos that I have been talking about. And Ubrak does provide engage.
And for a little second here, Li Ming is missing on the bot lane, and that might be another kill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Johnny Sins Butt Buddies managed to keep their personal advantage. They managed to keep it on a 4v3 because before Li Ming had returned, they could take down Reina.
and their engage game is on point. That and Ubrak has produced both kills so far, and I
They
don't
have-
think he's looking to stop down, as the first auto phase is just around the corner, and the fights around the bot lane one will happen very soon.
So the momentum on the side of Johnny Sins at the moment, but it's only a small lead. They didn't get another kill. They didn't keep their personal advantage up. So 5-on-5 again, or more
Let's
like
see.
4-on-4.
Moustaches are
Anubarak not bot. Anubarak not ready yet for the fight. He's soaking mid, and he's only now on the way. But Genji can delay for a long time.
Kenji is already jumping in for the Ana. The sleep will miss, I think,
Yeah.
as Blooming is getting delayed here. And engage
Good
from
stun.
Novarak on top of Surge. We do have White Tiger jumping in that same instant. Nothing will be gained, but nothing will be lost, as Anduin keeps healing his team up to full.
The
Both
health bars looking
altars
really similar.
have long been taken in the top lane. Another engage from Nubrak, this time without any follow-up, as
So-
the Bak will just walk away silently.
None of the offliners really wants to join in bot. None of the offliners wants to give their team an edge and trade that for experience. Last time we saw this, last time on this map, Dehaka would have come in now.
Yeah, but the Haka is a global, and neither of those offlaners are.
Yeah.
Although now we do see that Zul is in the mid lane, while Zagara is.
I think the top two offliners, they're just avoiding each other. They're pretty much in sync with each other. They just rotate past each other all the time. But Xul now trying to get the kill on Zagara, but he can't really. He's
While we
only
have been
harassing.
talking about rotations, Johnny Sin's bad buddies have slightly edged Moustaches out of the point where the altar is standing in, and
Yeah.
are trying to get the capture in at this moment. Johanna
he-
is
yeah.
not gonna
that is-
interrupt it. Q was on cooldown or something, as sleep hits both Nubrak and Genji, but nothing will be lost by Johnny Sin's bad buddies, as they send 4 shots into the core of their opponents. The
After
score
a
is
long fight, we have 36-32. A bit of a small lead for Johnny Sins.
small leads go big ways, you know, and this fight, although it did not produce any kills, it was pretty solid for Johnny Sin's bad buddies. It does establish that they do have a bit of advantage at this stage of the game, which they might be able to roll into something bigger later on. As of now, they will take their half a level lead, and White Tiger is actually moving up to try and get some extra damage done on Zagara.
So looking at the experience soaked by the two offlaners, it's almost identical, I think. There it is. Yeah, no, it's not. Xul is leading by 3k. I'm sorry. Only 5,500 south by Zagara. Xul has 8,800.
That
But
is pretty
I
savage.
think the reason for that is the mana. Look at the mana management by the two offlaners. Zagara seems to have much bigger mana issues than Xul. She has to go back sometimes. Sometimes Li Ming has to help her on the lanes. So Xul seems to be the more powerful offlaner at the start here.
And
Good
another
engage
engage
on
Nana in the
Anna,
bot lane.
and
We do
she
have the
dies.
chain of follow-up, which does result in a kill. Johnny Sin's bad buddies have the killer instinct, and they are not here to play.
They are on point here. I
3-0.
mean, I think they are probably looking for revenge for the 2-0 they suffered against Moustaches in the division.
And Pogo Okapi is gonna get killed by Genji. Bites a bit more than he could have chewed, as the Genji is taken down as well. But, you know, you get some, you lose some. And you got a kill, which is the point, where when you're jumping in with Genji, do you really care
Yeah.
if you survive? Not
Good
really.
route on Reyna here. No cleanse available right now. Anna
Think
only,
those are
only
actually
gets her cleanse
spawns.
for that on 13. But Blauermix with Johanna in trouble
Falling
here.
low and notably not having any mana, Light Bomb
Light
comes
Bomb.
out as well as the root on Raynor. A lot of lockdown, and Raynor is out of mana as well. Surge
And
will
he
die
dies.
not being able to press his E.
Also a good web on Anna there.
To
She
prevent
could have
any
really
potential
helped.
healing.
Yeah. So 6
so-
to 1 kills, almost an entire level lead now for Johnny Sins Bad Buddies. They are looking strong, really strong.
In terms of ultimates, which I have touched a bit, but we haven't spoken in detail, we do have
Yeah.
Water Elemental, Cocoon, Skeletal Mage's Dragon's Blade, I think it's called in English, and Light Bomb
Yes.
for Johnny Sins Bodies. And on the other side, we do have Blessed Shield, Wave of Force, Reyna's Raider, or the other way around, Devouring Maw, and
Nano
Nano
Boost.
Boost.
Genji
engage
tries to
from Nubra.
escape. He's pulled out and still jumps away. He is in fear. He is leaving with 100 HP there. Or something.
Nubrak engage went a bit wider, but the follow-up Q was enough to set up a disengage for his friend.
Nubrak
The
is in
Nubrak
trouble.
himself is falling quite low, but he's able to get out.
As Anubrak, you really shouldn't be picking fights with Reyna. Li Ming is less of a problem to you because of your spell shields, but Reyna is gonna ignore all of that, and the Reyna against an Anubrak is just gonna chew him down. So he needs to be
Honestly,
careful with that.
I think against Raynor, as is the deal with many other ranged characters, Anubrak should pick his engages. Because when you engage, your damage doesn't exactly matter. What matters is the follow-up that your team is bringing to the table. And if
Yeah.
there's one thing that we have seen about John Cena's Bad Buddies yet,
But good
is
engage by Johanna here right now.
how-
Let's talk about that.
how well
Cocoon
the
used.
follow-up is.
Johanna
The sleep
goes
on
down.
Genji is gonna stop everything, but the light bomb on Anubrak will set up a kill on Raynor, and Ana is gonna be next.
Yeah.
Dragon bladed to death, but by White Tiger
only
as
Zagara left, and she's gonna go down as well. But
Johnny
close
Sin's Bad
calls.
Buddies will.
Close calls on the right side. Yeah, did you see the health bars by the backline of Johnny Sins? They really that was calculated. They had something like 100, 200 HP on some of the players all the way through the fight. Could have gone the other way, but it looks like Johnny Sins Bad Buddies are really in control of this map right now.
I'm interested in that
11 kills.
in the fact that they are delaying mid lane altar, but they are taking the bot altar before they force down the fort, which would have
Yeah.
potentially given them.
Now they have
Two more
taken it as
shots.
well. They have made the decision to take it while they can.
Because they are not able to take the bot fort
Yeah.
as they hope for,
Yeah,
which they
they-
would have been able to if they went there a bit sooner.
Underberg
Rolanda going into an
finding
engage
more in the
he
bush than he
probably
wants.
did not want, but a good thing about Anduin in this comp is that when your Nubrak on or your Genji ventures a bit too deep, you are able to save them. And that's why Anduin is
Yeah.
the healer to go in those dive compositions.
a good backup for them. That's true.
we do see that Zagara now has abandoned the solo lane completely and is just walking with the team, looking for the devouring mode, probably to set up for one of the revenge teamfights of their own.
Now 4 players for Johnny Sins are in mid. Anubrak is taking the time to just fill up his mana again.
I don't like the fact that they went mid after taking the camp. I think they would have gotten much better if they just went bot and followed the camp up until the fort.
Yeah.
Because I think those sappers would have been able to just kill the tower, which would have been
Genji
so...
stunned, pulled back, sleeped, and he is down. Anubrak tried to save him, dived in.
Moustaches are able to find and engage of their own. There was a mention in the chat about Disintegrate not being picked against Cocoon, but Nobrak is finding his target, and the target is usually the Liming, so I don't think Disintegrate would have helped much. Instead, the thing that breaks free the Cocoons here is the passive poison from Ana, which is still counting as the entire second per tick, while in reality it might be a little bit less damage on the passive.
Okay, so we have 2 altars up. Moustaches are trying to pressure the right altar while taking their own on the left side. Zagara is finished on the left side now, Anubrak on half HP.
We do have the Genji engage with the light bomb. That's pretty clever, as Surge is falling quite low. The Dragon Blade is here and Zagara is already down with the Raynor. We do see that Genji is trying to get the Ana as well. The grenade is here, the Cocoon hits Li Ming and Ana is dead as well as Johanna. The only thing left is to finish out the team wipe with the Li Ming, but I don't think everyone is looking for it.
And they're now splitting up the right altar, curiously not taken still.
Because there is a Jaina in the bot lane who is able to take this fort, I believe.
But it's dangerous on this map to wait too long with these altars, because especially in the early stages, because the death timers are so long.
They time it, but they don't time it well enough. Although they do take the bottom fort, it did not register in the game as a fort that your team controls. So that's why there were only 4 shots fired this altar.
Yeah, maybe Anduin has started picking up the altar before it had actually fallen. And I think the thing that counts is not the moment you shoot, but the moment you activate the altar, right?
Pretty sad misplay for Johnny Sins Bad Bodies either way, because it is obvious that they have tried.
Now.
Oof.
Oh no.
Anyways, both teams converging in the bot lane, as the next phase is confirmed to be 1 ultra mid and 2 ultra stop, and both camps of sappers are moving down that bot lane. First one of which is getting cleared out somewhat, but the second one is pretty much full HP still. One of those 3 is now dead, the second one is down, and crisis has been averted.
Yeah. So, Moustaches are now trying to get back this 4, I think. Root on Li Ming, but she is in safety in the back.
So, last time we have seen one team have half HP of the other at 18 versus 9.
Stun, good light bomb. More on
Nubarak.
Raynor in trouble there, but he gets out.
Unfortunately, Li Ming is not able to get out as well as Johanna, as well as the Raynor, who is being a bit too far, and Ana is just gonna hug safety box while she can.
And Anduin saves Genji there on the brink of death, like 40 HP and dots on him. But he makes it out. And 3 altars now ready. That is going to bring Moustaches down to 1 core hit point, and there's still a boss available. So yeah, boss started.
They would have just won, but now they have to take an additional boss, which I don't think they will have a lot of trouble with, although...
There's no one in range to stop this boss.
Yeah.
This should be GG, yeah. Moustaches knew it early. This is over. GG. Well played by Johnny Sins. And yeah, they have managed to beat the the team that beat them 2-0 in the division.
Don't, not so fast. Okay.
I mean, at least they got one map of them. That's better than last time already.
True, but now we do have more games to play because they have to win one more at least, or they need to go for the second one.
Yeah. So we are waiting for what happens next. First pick has been chosen by Moustaches. So we are waiting for the map pick by the winners of the first map by Johnny Sins.
So, what map do you think they will actually go for? Johnny Sins Bad Buddies. Now that we have seen them in game number 1.
They seem to be looking for overwhelming power in team fights. That seems to be their strategy. So I don't think something like Dragonshire would be the right map to do that on. Alterac might be a place to go.
That's actually interesting you say that because now I have the stats, and Johnny Sins Bad Buddies have actually picked Dragonshire 7 times.
And they have picked it again. The one that I wouldn't have expected. I messed it up.
I don't think you. I think that you should expect it, honestly, because the thing that Johnny Sins Bad Buddies showed this time is that their 4-man is so much stronger than the 4-man of their opponents, with Genji and Nubrak almost perfecting their engages and setting up kills out of nothing, which is a thing that you want on Dragonshire. It is probably the most detached the offlaner gets from the rest of the team in any map in the current rotation, because we have Braxis, but Braxis is not in the rotation. Hashtag unban Braxis. Anyways, yeah. We do have a strong offlaner on the side of Johnny Sins Bad Buddies, who had won the offlane last game on Zul versus Zagara. And we have a strong 4-man, which I think are both very good things to bring with you on Dragonshire. Unfortunately for them, this was one of the maps that they have been beaten on last time around. The dreaded 11-30 win by Moustaches. And yeah, this is the map where Johnny Sins Bad Buddies are running that Stukov offlane. Let's see if this one will get banned this time around. So yeah, we have the lobby set up. We do have the teams in there, and let's see how this will happen. The captains are set up. And the ready checks are happening. So yeah, I don't know. The first game was pretty close. Actually, nah, it kind of wasn't. I get what Moustaches were trying to go for, but the calculated aggression from JSBB was just good enough to deny any potential place that Moustaches were able to get. I don't think they even won a fight the last game. I don't remember them winning a fight at least.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They had. So the one thing that Johnny Sins Bad Buddies really got going for them on the first map was that they managed to contain Johanna. Normally, it's really hard to keep Johanna locked down, but they had just so many skills that she could have chosen to pull her Unstoppable on, her Iron Skin. That she, even though she has a lot of HP and she has the shield and she has the Unstoppable, she just didn't get out again. If she went in, there was so much talents thrown at her. No chance for.
But yeah, let's stop living in the past and start speaking about the future. We do have our draft starting out on Dragonshire, with Tracer being the first ban from Moustaches again.
Yeah, the same. So maybe they're trying to stick with Li Ming and Anna. Malthael banned again as well. The same.
Yeah,
band
some
too.
pretty classic bands from the teams, as I think they do understand the playstyles of each other pretty well, which does mean that their bands have been chosen already, and I don't think they will swap around a lot. But that doesn't mean that the teams are necessarily able to win the games on a whim, because even if you know how your opponent plays, you might not know how to counter it.
And Donara is banned again.
So yeah, the bans are the same. The Stukov is open, which is the offlane that they are going for.
And Xul now on the left side.
So yeah, Zulf pick this time
Yeah.
around, but from the
So
other side of the battlefield.
so Moustaches saw the Xul of Johnny Sins and thought, yeah, we want that. And they took it.
I
Quick
think
up.
it's just Zul has become pretty solid, maybe
Jaina and ETC now.
too solid, but yeah, it's just being brought up a lot in the games now.
Anna and Liming are back. Just a quick update on the other quarterfinal. Unstoppable are going to be the opponents in the semifinal for whoever wins this quarter.
Interesting.
They have beaten Diablo Immortal 2-0.
Nice. Turns out they did have phones after all. So yeah, Jaina and ETC is a pretty solid swap around what we had in game number one, as we
Hammer
see
has
a
banned.
cool hammer ban. Interesting.
That's really interesting. I haven't seen Hammer in any lounge match ever since I've started playing lounge in season 10. But I guess Johnny Sins know what they're doing. They know what they're up against, so they should have a reason for that ban.
And here we see the Anduin ban from their opponents, trying to bet on White Tiger going for some dive heavy character that needs to get saved. Again, but let's see how this will turn out.
Yeah. And
Three.
what offlaner Johnny Sins are going to go for this time? Deckard and Genji. Genji is back.
Yeah, this time without a trade off and doing to save him, but with some potions and with a lot of setup from ETC and Deckard.
And
Last,
Jaina. I mean, Deckard and Jaina are a nice synergy on their own. Stay a while and listen into Ring of Frost. All that while ETC still has his mosh pit. And Anurag on the left side this time.
oh,
Jaina
how
is
the
back too.
tables have turned.
Yeah, so um, Moustaches have pretty much adopted the front line of Johnny Sins from last match and have stayed with their backline. Anna, Li Ming, and Reina, all three returning Pixia. And Leoric against Xul on the offlane.
That's gonna be interesting because I think that Leoric is gonna have enough wave clear to not lose too much versus Zul, while being able to get the trades in with his W and being able to just get to the altar quickly when needed with his E, which getting to the altar quickly is not something that you would expect to crop up as important, but it really does add a lot to your chances in the offlane on Dragonshy, where capping that temple is really huge sometimes and is a big part of playing the lane. So
Yeah,
yeah, let's see how that will turn out.
I'm excited for this map. Haven't seen it a lot, and I'm really curious how these teams are gonna.
I'm excited for these comps because we have seen how they have played in game number one, and the difference in strategy is pretty clear.
And also, in the I want to see how in the setup of Moustaches, heroes like Anurag and Xul that were so effective for Johnny Sins are gonna work. How they fit there.
So
We
yeah,
already
on
see 4 people on the left side going for the bot lane.
Speaking of the left side, we do have Blauemink on Anubrak, Faldas on Ana, Easy playing Zul, Pogo Okapi on Liming, and Search playing Raynor. They are Moustaches and they are trying to get a game 3.
On the right side for Johnny Sins, we see Hodo on the offlane again, this time with Lyric. Jenny Talia playing. That's Deckard. Jaina being played by Ravenspike, Garlanda on ETC, and White Tiger is back with Genji. They have now noticed that the bot lane is being pressured by Moustaches. They're trying to catch someone. They kinda get Reyna, but he is safe for the moment. Nobody hit by the root from Deckard.
I don't want to judge, but I think that Sloth Century have been a bit more successful on the quick push the other lane thingy.
Yeah, of course.
And not only they are unable to get a tower, they are also unable to get Azul to stay alive in the mid lane as he gets dived on by the Genji and dies horribly.
Genji saw his opportunity there and cut down Xue. Genji is now deep in the backline. He manages to get out though. I think he was trying to get down the top fountain. He wanted to help his offlaner by taking away Xue's healing fountain.
I mean, that is a thing that you don't Genji. Like, Genji, Liming, basically everyone with a lot of range, you take away the enemy's healing fountain and that makes the laning phase so much worse. Especially if you don't have any way to regain health on your own. Because that way you do have to rely on the globes and those globes will be contested quite heavily by the Leoric.
The first siege camp of the match is taken. Johnny Sins butt buddies have picked it up. It's going on the bot lane. Lyric is comfortably holding the top temple for them.
The fact that Zul is actually going for double soaking on this map is seeming pretty interesting to me. But as Leoric gets his level 4 as well, I guess we're just gonna see the Tower of Doom arrangement once again, where the offlaners rotate around and the bot lane is fighting 44.
Yeah. But I guess we're gonna see more invades to the mid, just based on the objective. There's gonna be more team fights in mid, more encounters in mid than on.
And also, you don't need to take the bottom tower, you don't need to defend it quite as much as on Towers of Doom.
Genji is back at it again. Rooted this time. But he gets it. He gets the fountain down and he escapes with his life. So Xul is in trouble now. He doesn't have his healing fountain to drink from.
Which is less of a healing fountain and more of a mana rejuvenating fountain at this point, because his mana is looking quite low. That's just 60 out of 550. Which...
And if you remember Towers of Doom, Zagara, played by the same player as Xul now, had mana issues against Xul back then. So
oh, that's a jump on the Ana, but it is being stopped by the Anubrak. The disengage coming strong for Moustaches in this fight. Also,
no, he gets out. So Xul, as I was saying, even though Easy has picked up Xul, still mana issues. Again, like last map, now even worse due to the missing healing fountain, the missing mana fountain.
And let's see, we do have an invade by the side of Johnny Sins bad buddies.
ETC is in trouble.
Nubrak is on the point and ETC is grenaded. We do have a jump from White Tiger and he is getting quite low. He's getting a sleep and no, he is able to jump out. But
so they get the kill, they don't get the cap.
Defended, and yeah, that's a trade that I think Johnny Sins bad buddies can be quite content with. Because they still do have a whole level worth of advantage. Or almost a level, let's be honest, that's not quite.
ETC and Jaina going for the bruiser cap. Yeah.
They actually had a talent advantage as well up there for a moment.
Now, the bottom, the siege camp is helping Moustaches pressure the bottom camp. The bottom 4, I'm sorry. the bottom red of Johnny Sin.
So yeah, Genji and Deckard is not a duo that I wanted to see defending this one, but if
Jane
Jaina
and
is
ETC are taking the camps in the meanwhile.
yeah, taking the camps is a thing that I would take over just trying to defend from one, especially if your opponents are not trying to press on this aggressively. Surge and Faldas will attempt a gank on Leoric, although the sleep misses and they just decide to clear out the camp instead.
Almost a whole level advantage though now for Johnny Sins. They are taking the bottom temple, Moon Temple, and also starting to take the bottom Bruiser camp. Maybe to
Yeah.
equalize the situation on the bot lane. Li Ming and Anabarak are now there, but they probably don't know that they are in their fewer players. 4-on-2 now. Will ETC get a catch here? Yes, he catches.
Yes,
Li Ming.
he will. Pogo Kapi is getting stunned and is actually gonna get killed by the Jaina. We do have a Nubarak trying to leave in shame as he wasn't able to save his backline this time around.
So 3-0 kills and ultimates picked up for Johnny Sins, but
We do have Indoom, we do have cross strikes this time, which is interesting to me compared to the Dragon Blade in game number 1. I guess that is to
you don't
block
have the
out
light bomb.
the cocoon counter.
Also, if you don't have the light bomb, it's a different kind of engage for Genji.
I also like the fact that ETC went with stage dive, providing them with a global in case something like the need for something like that arises.
It is still a big map, so even though he's main tanking, it's a valid pickup here.
And yeah, with the plan that Johnny Sins bot buddies have, as in go dive, kill a target, repeat. The lockdown is actually not that important for them, which is why they opt away from the ring and into the water elemental for the Jaina. Meanwhile, the ultimates come out for their opponents. We do see the Poison Nova from Zul, which is
Genji dodging the Xul route, but still
but not dodging the Nubarak engage, which does result in the death of a Genji. We do have ETC jumping in as Cocoon times out on the Leoric. We do not have Indoom up, and that is gonna be the end of this engage.
Xul is on his way to the top lane, taking the Sun Temple. Maybe
Moustaches
we can see a Dragon Knight here.
Yeah, I think this should be, but we do have a 3-man of JSBB in the bot lane, making sure that Raynor will not keep this under control. And calling a 4-man rotation down bot.
I think on this map, if two really good teams go up against each other, the objective is not really an objective in the classical sense, but it's more like a boss or something, a win more. After all, you need to win big team fights like this one.
And win more Johnny Sins bot buddies will as they get Li Ming and the Raynor, with White Tiger continuing to jump in, trying to get the Ana as well. Unfortunately, he's not able to get that and dies to the tower. That hurts, but that is the way of the Genji.
Yeah, that's What I actually meant is if there was no Dragon Knight, you could still push a 4 or a keep after winning a team fight that you need to get the Dragon Knight, right?
Another engage from the ETC, which is followed up by the engage from the Nubarak. I don't think that Cocoon was necessary, as now Jaina is safe for the time being. Pretty solid sleep from the Deckard is not able to save him in the end, as Pogo Kapi goes wild with the resets and gets the kill on the backline. ETC is gonna get killed. And
look at Eric on top, Xul. Xul with 30 HP manages to get out. But for the moment, that means that it's gonna be a little bit harder for Moustaches to take the top temple.
Is it? But the Leoric is left pretty low from this engage as well.
I thought Genji would help him a bit more.
I don't think Genji can actually help there, because Genji would be the only one doing stuff, and when you're Genji you want some follow-up to you, or you want to follow up someone, because going in alone is just suicide.
Genji dodging the route by Xul again with his cross strike. Strike.
Easy trying to get the dragon in, but ETC is able to use his stage dive, I assume, to just stop the capture here.
So no Dragon Knight again for either team. Siege Camp for Sloth Sanctuary. I'm sorry, for Johnny Sins.
Let's just call them Callus for clarity's sake. So yeah, pretty heated match with a lot of action happening. We do have White Tiger trying to invade easy on the Bruiser camp and being successful with it. The Zol is down, and that is a free camp.
Oh,
If I've ever
Anubarak is
seen
not really
Zol,
free.
we do see that Anubarak is jumping in using Cocoon on the Leoric to try and take this camp for themselves. And both teams are now here. Hodao is not able to leave, and that is a camp secured by the side of Moustaches. Another engage from Anubarak is gonna go a bit too short to count.
A really
on the
nice fight for
EDC.
just a camp.
So yeah,
Genji taking the bottom temple, but Reina takes it right back.
I like how the teams are fighting over essentially everything, and yeah, while it's
close.
making the game really exciting to see, unfortunately we don't get as much time to appreciate some technical sides of things.
Yeah.
But the game is still pretty important, and we do have engages galore as ETC, Genji, and Anubarak continue rotating around each other, picking up kills of either team, honestly. This is becoming a mess, and I like it. ETC is...
What I have noticed is that Xul has kind of stabilized against Lyric on the top lane. In the early stage of the match, he had mana issues. He really couldn't hold that well against Lyric, but at the moment, he seems to be okay.
You get your big sustained talent at level 7, which synergizes pretty well.
Now he is entombed, and I am not sure if he's gonna make it. He uses his root and can't be chased. 500 HP, quite comfortably. You can't
in the mid lane, we have Limin killing out Jaina as action hits up across the entire map. Again, ETC engages on Surge in the bot lane, but this is gonna go a bit wide, and Pogo Copy is already there, so they can't really engage on top of all of that. Yeah, Jaina being cut out by Limin in the mid lane is not sounding big, but is actually big because they had to send
the first Dragon Knight actually taken
Leoric
by
bot lane.
Johnny Sins.
Genji jumps on top of Ziana and kills her, while Raynor gets a really close call with an ETC who is able to pick up a potion at the last possible second. White Tiger falling quite low, being able to jump over the wall to guarantee. The Dragon Knight is pretty late for the first one compared to what we see in Rare Cup, but he's still gonna pull some weight and take a fort all by himself, which makes it do for Johnny Sin's bad buddies and puts them in the lead structurally even more.
But still, looking at the healing fountains and the wall situations, 2 of the 4s, actually the mid and the bot for Johnny Sins, are damaged as well, so it doesn't look too bad.
Stage dive is here from the ETC, cutting off Anubarak and securing that kill of the bug. That's a squish of a feature, but we do see the engages continue as Zul dies and Pogo Copy is engaged upon. That's a nice entomb that forces out a blink from Li Ming. White Tiger continues to jump in. The sleep actually misses
Leoric is there now.
as Leoric is running around deleting the damage of the enemy team. Li Ming is dead, and that's gonna be the fight, folks. 3-4-0. JSB finds our kills. Catching up Anubarak on his engages, which when Anubarak doesn't try to disengage his team and tries to actually engage on top of the opponent, he goes a bit too far for Zana to really save him.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what happened, with pretty nice stage dive to start things off and cut him off just.
And that is going to be the first keep of the match that goes down. Johnny Sins Bad Buddy is taking the blue bot keep. And this is now
Zingo?
comfortably.
Not as an engage thingy, not as a thing to displace someone and catch them out as they're isolated, but just as a wall to block the opponent's movement and to stop them trying to kill you on the disengage, which is pretty nice
Mhm.
read from the Leoric.
I
Zinto
like
has a pretty low cooldown, so you can use it like that.
what I like about Johnny Sins Bad Buddies here is especially the stage dive. Because if you look at the foreman of Moustaches, every single hero of those has something to interrupt a mosh pit. So the stage dive is a lot safer for them to pick up as an ETC ultimate. Genji now trying to take the mid,
And will actually be
does it.
able to get it as
Huh.
Li Ming is not is
Quick
just
enough.
gonna be a bit out of range with her casts.
So
So at
only
13
2
minutes,
minutes. Yeah.
Dragon is followed up by a 16-minute one. And it looks like they're trying to go into the core with level 20. That is definitely the call to be made. We do have
Yes.
the Death Mosh, we do have the Buried Alive to set up all of the engages that they want, honestly. And I am
Leoric
really...
already looking for engages here, hitting 2 with the Spirit Alive and the Blizzard on top. That's gonna be at least 2 kills
Slimming
here.
is dead, Zul is dead,
Ooh.
as well as Johnny Sins Bad Buddies clean up not only the course shields but the enemy as well. The Stay While and Listen is gonna connect with the
Stage
Rainer,
dive
and
now.
the follow-up is here, and the follow-up is relentless. 70% on the course, 65 now. The
And
GGs come out, and I
yeah.
don't think they can defend it. 30%, 25, and 0.
So all in all, a really convincing victory here for Johnny Sins. Just remember, in the division stages, they had lost at some point 2-0 against Moustaches, so they must have been practicing and they must have somehow found a really good recipe against Moustaches here. I think the Genji is one thing that Moustaches had problems dealing with. Maybe they didn't know about the Genji weakness on the Moustaches side back in the stages division.
Not only that, but Moustaches were actually the only team in division stages that was able to beat Johnny Sins Bad Buddies, as they finished with 9 wins out of 10. So that is a nice bit of coldly served revenge.
Yeah,
Calculated, aggressive, and pretty damn effective.
well
This
played.
game was closer than the previous one, but
Only until
yeah,
the first objective.
it still opened up very quickly and it was
It
not
snowballed hard.
pretty. So
Really
yeah,
did.
pretty nice start for Johnny Sins Bad Buddies as they move into the semifinals versus Unstoppable.
So
I think that was our last match for today, right?
yeah, that's probably the last one you're going to be hearing from Josh and me for today. The rest of the action is going to be over on the Heroes Lounge 1 channel. Currently, we have Sloth Sanctuary going up against Elf Cake for Coco there in the first semifinal. And later today, you're going to see the second semifinal between Johnny Sins, Bad Buddies, and Unstoppable there. And whoever of those 4 make it to the finals are also going to be cast there at 20 past 5 p.m. Central European time. So don't turn off your PCs, phones, tablets, whatever you're watching this on yet. Head over to
You can
Heroes Lounge 1.
you can probably leave this stream. Just go to the first one because all of the action will be there from now on.
Go over there.
We have been Yosh and FortyTwo bringing to you the Epic Cup quarterfinals, and yeah, that has been it for us today. Good luck
Thanks
out
for
there.
joining.
Have fun. It is mandatory after all.
Goodbye.